right, now in our Sunrise Live, after having to postpone his State of the State address due to COVID-19 exposure, Governor Tim Walz has a message for Minnesotans ahead of opening statements this morning in the Chauvin trial. During last night's address from his old social studies classroom at Mankato West High School, Walz talked about how Minnesota was put into the spotlight and under a microscope following George Floyd's death last summer, and urged people to stay peaceful as Chauvin's trial gets underway.
As the trial of Derek Chauvin gets underway, tensions and emotions will understandably run high. Please, Minnesotans, make your voices heard. Practice your First Amendment right, but please heed Dr. King's advice that nonviolence is the only way to truly move hearts and create lasting change.
And on COVID-19, Walz warned the nearly 7,000 lives lost in the state to the virus and thanked Minnesotans for their sacrifices made during the pandemic. With more than 1.5 million people in Minnesota already getting one dose of the vaccine, he celebrated the state's vaccine rollout and encouraged everyone to get their shots, continue to social distance, wear masks, and get tested.
Minnesota can and will emerge stronger from this crisis than ever before. The state of our state is strong, Minnesota. This is our goal line stand. Get vaccinated. We're coming back.
In his speech, Walz also committed to helping students from all communities and backgrounds get the best education possible. He talked about his proposed state budget and addressed changes made to Minnesota's criminal justice system. Before the governor's address, Republican Senate Majority Leader Paul Gazelka released a video saying the state is hopeful due to the vaccine availability, but urged the governor to provide clear guidance on when the pandemic and his emergency powers will end. If you want to read more about the governor's State of the State address, head to KARE11.com for a full recap and let us know what you think of Walz's remarks by texting us at 763-797-7215. We will read a few of your comments on air in just a few minutes. And Alicia, as you said earlier, what a year it's been.
Yeah, big year and a jam-packed State of the State for sure. Yeah. All right, Jen, thanks. Let's give